Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Just hit the subscribe button now. Listen up, a little spit tit for tat stuff just broke out. You know the drama go already. Take us away from the mundane, everyday, run of the mill stuff and serious stuff. Nobody brains never get slap out in this one. No marrow didn't fly upon wall. Nobody died. But this was an argument between two prominent people that spilled over on social media. And we're talking about the embattled former deputy chairman of the Firearm Licensing Authority, or FLA, Dennis Meadows, and then we're talking about Krystal Tomlinson. Some people know Krystal for all the good things that she does, her mentorship program, and all these other uplifting things she does, especially women empowerment and youth empowerment stuff that she does. And others just know her simply as another one of Beanie Man's baby mother. Whichever one you want to take, that's what it is. All right, so taken from the Gleaner, best way to put it. Embattled former deputy chairman of the Firearm Licensing Authority, Dennis Meadows, has apologized to former People's National Party youth organization president Krystal Tomlinson for disparaging remarks he made on Twitter about her. Honestly, when I first saw the remarks, I actually went over to Krystal's Twitter and I put up the words bright and out of order. I put those words up because I thought they would have been fitting. But after getting the full story of how this came about, his comment came about. Listen now, she was former PMP something, he was former JLP something. This sound like some political stuff that went beyond that for a second. So she called him out, basically. I don't know if you follow me, but Morning Thoughts, we covered the gun stuff in Jamaica as far as the FLA goes, right? And it came to light that a couple of people who had criminal traces, to include those who had background for murder, drug trafficking, and stuff like that, they were able to get permits to carry licensed firearms in Jamaica under this person right here, Dennis Meadows. This happened on Dennis's watch. Now, everybody wants to know, how in God's green earth did this happen? Were you taking bribes? Were you looking out for your rich friends? What took place? Because this was not supposed to happen. So I think Dennis now had an interview, and through the interview, he was, struggling to sound credible, and she took it upon herself to say that you sound like you're struggling. You sound like you're struggling to... Let me read the article for you. So, Meadows had provoked outrage on social media platform over comments he posted in response to a tweet from Tomlinson that he was struggling to sound honest in his nationwide radio interview on issues that were raised at the FLA. The former Jamaica National Party senator in that interview sought to defend his choices by granting firearm permits to ex-convicts and people with criminal traces after disclosing in a Gleaner article that he believed in second chances. And that is the reason why he granted these people these, to include Jack Ure. Jack Ure's own made it to the headlines, the front headlines, right? After Cure came out of prison, Cure applied for a firearm license and he was denied the first time, and the second time he went back and reapplied with the same application that he did the first time, which states that he is an ex-convict and what he was convicted for. And we've been told that he was actually convicted for rape and possession of illegal firearm, and he was still able to get a firearm under Mr. Meadows, right? So he's there doing his interview, and Krystal said something about you're struggling. Right now you're struggling. You sound like you're struggling. You're struggling to sound honest, man. You're struggling to be truthful. You're struggling to be forthright, coming, that kind of thing, right? And he fired back and he said, yeah, like you struggle to remain hashtag baby mother 13 or baby mother number 13, but failed miserably. This is what he tweeted. It's an argument, guys. Okay, and that's so we Jamaican people talk. I don't know. You know what I don't like about people? I don't like when them go ghetto and hood on you, and then when you go ghetto and hood, they go prim and proper and start to criticize you going ghetto and hood. This was just a classless. She said what she said. You sound like you're struggling to be honest in the interview, right? And he fired back, right? It sounds like a trigger fire back. Like right away, if somebody say, yo, SouFlo, you sound like you struggle to tell the truth. If I know something about that person, I would probably say the same thing. Yeah, like you struggling to take care of your damn kids that never see you. You know, something like that. Like you, but he said like you're like you struggled to remain baby baby mother number 13, but you failed miserably, referring to her being with Beanie Man, dancehall Beanie Man, and having a child for Beanie Man and becoming a baby mother and not a wife, and then the relationship ended. Now, people had said it before it even happened that Beanie Man got married to my girl, you could be baby mother number whatever. And you know, back then she said, hey, that's her choice, and whatever happens there. You know, she's good with her own decision. It's her body and she can make her decision. That's the world we live in today, and that is what it is. Okay? So Meadows had tweeted, triggering a swift response from Tomlinson, who told him, listen to her response now, when he said, you struggled to remain baby mother number 13, but failed miserably. She tweeted back and she said, in a swift response, my vagina and reproductive choices were not your business. The FLA was your business. Being diligent, fair, and accountable in executing your duties was your business. If you had half of the passion for your work as you do for my body, you wouldn't be struggling to address these allegations, is what she posted and fired back. Since then, of course, Mr. Meadows has deleted his tweet and he has admitted and stated that his remarks were distasteful. His whole apology, not really apology, his whole response says, I have deleted my distasteful comment. On reflection, it's undeserving and unbecoming. It's an affront to women's reproductive rights and choice. Misogyny has never been a part of my being. Given the circumstances, I'm not in the right state of mind. I unreservedly apologize to you and to womanhood. So he immediately clears up because the woman them came out of the woodworks, you know. Once Krystal tied that in to her reproductive process and her vagina, it was over. In came the women. And the women were saying stuff like, what a vulgar man. The poor thing could not defend the argument without attacking the lady. As the saying goes, if you're not mashed ants, you can't see his belly. Another person says, this is the person with this temperament that we put in charge of firearms in the country. It's time that we hire mature and responsible people for these jobs. A next person said, when are you unable to stand up to public scrutiny? Go for the mundane. When you are unable to stand up to public scrutiny, go for the mundane. And another person says, a little too late for his apology. Mr. Meadows, you little fellow, your character is proving to be pathetic. And another person says, so are these the type of people we get to help run our country? God help us. The last comment was pretty lengthy and it goes like this. Isn't this the attitude of politicians, whether from the ruling party or the opposition? These individuals think that they are untouchables and beyond criticism. This man talk about second chances for individuals with criminal past. Did he ever give individuals without a criminal past the opportunity for a second chance after being turned down on their first application? How does this man sleep? They have a good point right there, I must admit. Them say, how does this man sleep when his conscience confronts him on his corrupt behavior, probably he has no conscience. How many politicians are benefiting from the monies that are paid to the FLA board members for the insurance or assurance of undeserved gun licenses? Was he taking bribes to get these people with criminal traces and criminal backgrounds these permits to carry weapons? Was he? Because that's what it seems like right now. Either that or he was just looking out for his friends, as opposed to, because we've tackled this problem on SouFLoTV before, where we said that the gun FLA business in Jamaica it needs a complete overhaul. It needs a complete overhaul. Someone said that it is too difficult to get a licensed firearm pardon my cough, to get a licensed firearm in Jamaica. The process is inherently classist and elitist, and I absolutely agree with that. In the United States of America, all you have to do is be 18 years old and not have a criminal record. You go into any gun shop, you pick the gun you want, you pay for it, you fill out the paperwork, they hold on to the gun, they do a thorough background check on you, and when your background check comes back as clear, you have no criminal records, you're not wanted in any other states, whatever, then you go pick your weapon up. There's a time limit on that also, because it's done within 7 days. So you can set your watch on it. There won't be, you go back next week and they're like, oh, it hasn't come in yet. You go back the next week and it hasn't come in yet. The process works, and it works like a well-oiled machine. And I think that's something that Jamaica can actually emulate and put into the works. You understand? In order to get the citizens who want to be armed, and give them the right and the means to protect themselves. Come on now, Jamaica full of gunmen with gun who don't give two damns about having a license to carry a gun. So at least make it the process easier for citizens, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens, to be able to arm and protect themselves as well, right? As far as this whole argument between Krystal and Mr. Meadows goes, I just think it was funny. But people are gonna spin it out of character and say, oh, it's misogynistic, it's sexist, it's this, it's that. Him say you struggled to hold on as Babymama number 13, but you failed at that miserably, because the relationship with her and Beanie Man ended, right? A low blow. It was a low blow. Tell me what you think about his comments in the comment section below, and then tell me what you think about her response, bringing her vagina and her reproductive organs into it. Does she have a point? Was she right? Was his original comment, foul? And do you find his apology acceptable? I'll catch you on the next video of SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.